Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be back to advice, tips and tricks, and today I'm gonna be talking about how to sell clothing, anything, you name it. Because selling apps is a bit technical. There's some tips and tricks that may probably help you sell your items just a wee bit quicker. My techniques are mainly for apps like Depop, Vinted, maybe Facebook Marketplace. You're feeling a bit, yeah, Depop is a bit of a sensitive one right now because they closed my account, so it's gonna be very fun talking about it, even though I don't have an account anymore. As you can see, I had like a lot of, it was going well. I had like 100 something sales. I had like 200 something followers. You know, it was, my Depop was active. It was doing its thing. It was popping, but the Depop community did not understand the assignment. I will say the first tip is mainly to obviously look at the item you're trying to sell and question its condition and the usability of it and how it's going to appeal to other sellers, because I feel like in most cases, just because you have something that is a good brand doesn't mean people will buy it. The main thing is that your quality of your item is still at least good enough for someone else to still wear it, or someone else to find it at least good enough for them to buy it. Because obviously many people do tend to buy reused clothes. Who doesn't? In case not all the time you can buy it in the store. It's a bit expensive, a bit of a price, too far away to get to, etc. So I feel like in many cases you have to be kind of careful. It's shocking on Depop, especially Depop, how many people can get away with selling such bad quality items, and that's why you wonder, or many people wonder, why they get the negative reviews that they do. It's like you have to be sure the quality of it. Just because it's from Pretty Little Thing and it's a top that's sold out doesn't mean that you should not be taking advantage of the fact that it's a good quality top and that you're selling it in rubbish condition because you know someone else will be willing to buy it. Make sure you know that the item's in good condition, and obviously even though you don't want it anymore, you have to think to yourself, like, if you were the person buying it, would you buy the top you're selling? Like, that's something to think about, because I feel like in my cases, for example, when I sell my items, I always make sure that there's no faults in it, there's no holes. Even if it's like a small hole, we'll get into that later, but do mention it. If it's like a small fault that's not too noticeable, do mention it anyway, any means whatsoever. But majority of the time, always check the condition of your item. Once you check the condition of your items, I'll say the next step is photos. Photos. God, where do I start here? Because photos can be basically the whole aspect of why your item will sell or will not sell. Because I feel like it's very important of what you're showing in your photographs, what you're basically trying to put out there. I feel like many people's mistakes is that, fair enough, you model it on yourself, but I feel like many cases it's like you're saying the item's been worn once, but you can tell in the picture the way you're wearing it, you've worn it like a few times. But obviously we're not going to judge, you know, do use this. The way you may represent the item online may be the reason why it may not be selling. For example, like, are you showing the logo or the branches? Are you showing what it looks like front to back, or the whole view of it? Sometimes as well, are you even putting the video up? Because some people, in some items as well, people may question the authenticity of it. Fair enough, obviously. Is the pictures clear, for one? Because some people, you may have a good item, but the picture's not even clear. They're blurry. Like, no one's going to buy a picture of a blurry item. Quality has to be crisp. The way it looks has to be at least clean enough, or at least in its best condition that you can possibly bring it to. Obviously, let's say for clothing, you take a picture of what it looks like online, let's say like on a model. If worst you can't find that, take a picture of it yourself, but make sure there's nothing in the background, nothing distracting. The front of the item, the logo, that will come with the sizings, and then it would be the back as well. Make sure you're showing everything that you can possibly, but obviously some pages, for example like Depop, there's only 4 pictures you can put up on there, which in my opinion is not enough, because sometimes people want to see the technicals, maybe off the sleeve or something, but obviously there is videos as well. The next step, obviously after you put the description, obviously is pricing, size, brand, etc. Obviously I'll say if your item is not like a known brand, just put like another brand that will probably be similar to what the item could be selling. Obviously mention that in the description again as an extra line, even though you don't want to waste too much words. As the description is not from this brand. The price, make sure it's reasonable, don't overdo it. Let's be real, you're reselling for a reason, and obviously majority of the time you're rarely going to get your money back, even if it's for a bit less. Yes, it will kill the fact that you bought it for £50 and you're selling it for 30, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Any money when you're reselling is better than no money. Do as much of the, I don't know on Depop if everyone's Depop's updated on this, but you can add the colour in now, you can add the type of item it is, like what theme, is it retro, is it vintage, is it cute, chic, etc. So obviously make sure you fill those in as well, so that makes your item easier to pop up on the pages. If it's a unisex item, I'll put it towards menswear, because men's obviously tends to expand a bit of the demographic. To that, you'll be ready to post your item. And also Just a little sneaky tip. If you're in the same country, well, in the UK, I feel like this is easy. I feel like internationally, this is not as easy. I don't know how much shipping is abroad, because obviously in the UK, if you're in the UK, shipping isn't too expensive. So I would recommend on the Depop page, do free shipping. Yes, it sounds like a kill. You're thinking, oh my God, I can't do it. When I've noticed since I've done free shipping, it makes it more tempting for people to buy the item. The fees are basically a little bit less when you have free shipping compared to when you have shipping. Or when you are posting, free first class shipping. It sounds a bit grim, but let's be real, the difference between first class and second class is not a lot. Would you rather have the item come the next day or 3 days later? You want it to come as soon as possible. When you're excited to buy an item, you would ideally be dying or wait for it to come within the next day or 2. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes, because I feel like as well, if you're excited to sell the item, the person buying it will be excited to receive the item. So you would want it to get to them as quick as possible. So you could be happy that it's gone, they could be happy that it's arrived, and obviously that's the rest. Once obviously all that stuff is done, yes, you've done the dreadful thing, free shipping. Obviously once you have posted the item, it's up and ready, obviously post the item on your page. But I will say as well, share out, obviously if you're on your Depop account, which in most cases many of you probably watching this will be, share it out on social media, because you wouldn't realise how a little share can cause a big difference. Because obviously, say if you have an Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, anything you name it, whatever social media you're using, share it out anywhere, everywhere. So you never know, some of your friends may be willing to buy your items as well. Some people maybe that you don't even know, you haven't talked to in a year, maybe willing to buy your item, like on, let's say, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. There may be people that you don't even know that'll be willing to go follow your page or share out your page as well. So I feel like as well, sharing out your page is what will stem obviously the followers, so you can build a bit of sense of trusting, etc. This can apply to basically pretty much all selling apps you're using. Obviously with the hashtags, descriptions, etc. Obviously another tip as well, don't just stick to one selling page, because I feel like if you rely on one selling page, over time one app may be a bit more popular than the other. You don't want to just stick to one selling app because it's the easiest, you know. I'd recommend after you post the item, give it maybe like a day or 2, see how it does. If people like it, people don't, then after that you have to kind of realise like, yeah, I need to expand my horizon. So upload it onto other selling pages that are just as good as like Depop. Let's say for example, I recommend Vinted, and Facebook Marketplace is an occasional one. Set it on more than one page, so you have a sort of like reliance of, if one app doesn't sell it, doesn't want the items to be sold, another person will buy on a different app. Next thing, let's say obviously someone's messaging it, they're interested, they're gonna buy it, you're getting excited, they bought it. We're here, this is the happy moment where you're doing your happy dance, you're getting your paycheck, pop apart. Screenshot the address. I feel like that's the main important thing. So obviously you can remember, let's say if they bring it up, and obviously you may not be able to bother to check on the app. Let's say when you're posting, you may not even have data. It's good to just screenshot it on your phone to have it there ready for, obviously, to check back that you wrote the address correctly. Item that you're selling, get it out. Make sure it's in good condition. If it's a bit dirty, maybe give it a quick wash. You want the item to look good to the person who's receiving the item. Also, fold it as little as possible, but as flat as possible, because obviously the aim is first class shipping, but you want to do the cheapest first class shipping as possible. So let's say if it's like a t-shirt, that could be a large letter. You know, large letters are £1 compared to if you fold it too small, it end up being a small parcel. Small parcels are £4. Like, you see the difference there. So obviously you are trying to save selling as well, because you don't want to be sending too much, because that's obviously the majority of your profit starting to go when you are selling. So obviously make sure you fold it as flatly and as neatly as possible. Make sure you have good packaging stuff. I would recommend, let's say, envelopes if possible. Or if not, maybe what I used to do, which is kind of bad now that I'm saying it, but sometimes you can use little bags. Like if you don't have good resources, sometimes just use a plastic bag, use a bin bag, use a paper bag, use like a shopping bag. Sometimes I think the shopping bags are meant to be reusable, at least reuse it for something, you know. It's like my last little sneaky tip, but that's probably the reason why my account got closed, but I'm not going to discuss it. Well, when you are selling items, this is maybe something you may do either before or after you upload the item, but I recommend doing this after you upload the item, so then you can kind of like give it a little glimpse, compare. I think Depop will be the easiest to do this on. Compare who else is selling the same item or similar item to you, so you can see what they described it as, the reason why they got that much likes, or the reason why it sold as well. Because I used to always compare pricing, so then when I did say cheaper selling on Depop, majority of the time it was. So when people looked at it and they looked at the item that they liked, they were like, oh, your item is cheaper, stuff like that. And then when they look at your page and then they compare to other ones, they're like, oh, she has actually not lying, like it's actually legit, like this item's actually cheaper. Another one I used to do, which basically is the reason why my account is closed, is Basically, when you were comparing those items as well, I would message the people. This sounds so bad, but in my opinion, I'm not mad at it because I got my sales. I got the sales that I needed to get as well, and it did help me. I'll say get like a fifth of my sales that I did towards the end of my account being closed. Sometimes message them saying that I did have the same item available for less, because sometimes people may not notice it that it's available on your page. Sometimes it does take a while for your page to go up, but once your page does blow up, sometimes you have dry phases, and obviously dry phases kind of get a bit tiring, especially when you want some of the items to like get out of your wardrobe. You might want to speed up the process. So I'll say do this occasionally. I won't say do this often, because me doing this often is the reason why I'm doing this Depop video with a closed account. Message them occasionally saying, hey, I have the same item available for less if you're interested, stuff like that. They say it's spamming, but same time it's like, it got me my sales, you got your fees. Why are we really mad here? Only do for the items that you know that I may be struggling to sell. Message the people who are only active let's say active today or on that week. So then you're not wasting time messaging people who are not even active on the account at all. In that case, it did work for like a few of my items that I didn't expect to sell at all. So I'll say do that on the very rare occasion, because sometimes as well, sharing it on social media may not always be the best way, but I like that little like hint of spamming did help go a bit far, especially for items where you don't really want it. It did quite well. That's the end of my pretty much how to sell on Depop video, or how to sell in general video. But thank you guys for watching. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe, spread the word, and do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. More videos will be coming soon, as I always say, and bye.